Y'all ever seen 50,000 folks fall silent and crack up at the same time? Picture this: Kendrick Lamar sitting in a suit, smirking behind a wooden desk, looking straight into the camera like he's on some crime and law rerun. The dude interrogating him leans in and goes, "Do the words drop ring a bell?" Kenny raises an eyebrow, straight-faced as the lie detector line. Then the screen cuts to black, bass drops, and Not Like Us blows that stadium sky high. Drake's lawsuit ain't even cold, yet Kendrick flipped it into a 10-second meme that's worth more than a Billboard rollout. If you clicked on this vid to see how one deposition joke became a sonic haymaker and how every new beat is another L on Drake's ledger, stay locked in. We got receipts, numbers, and spicy chess moves you ain't heard on the timeline yet. This story is a roller coaster, and every twist is a bigger W for Kendrick Lamar. Ready? Let's dive. First things first, bodies and seats never lie. Minneapolis' US Bank Stadium, an arena built for literal Vikings, just played host to the loudest hip-hop sermon of 2025. 47,000, maybe 50 if you count scalpers sneaking in through the side gates, all waving W signs like some post-apocalyptic pep rally. Remember that OVO thread where screenshots showed empty chairs? Those pics were snapped 2 hours before doors opened. By showtime, the upper decks looked like a sneaker release on Black Friday. Shoulder to shoulder, no air left to borrow. Ticketmaster melted, resale prices ballooned past a month's rent, and local transit had to run extra trains because everybody and their cousin needed a seat at the coronation. That's a crowd Drake's team swore didn't exist. Lesson learned, never doubt a Compton kid with Pulitzer energy. And just in case haters thought night one was a fluke, Kenny's merch booth clocked 2-hour lines for $95 hoodies that sold out mid-set. That's not hype, that's a tidal wave. But the stampede was only the beginning. Wait until you hear how Kendrick turned a courtroom trope into rap's funniest roast in years. See, Drake thought a federal complaint would muzzle Kendrick. Instead, it birthed the most memeable intro since Kanye floated on wires. In the skit, a stone-faced lawyer rattles off dates like he's loading bullets. Grammys night, Super Bowl Sunday, the moment Not Like Us, hit streaming. Kendrick sits calm, fingers steepled, and replies, "Don't really keep up with dates like that." Translation: my legacy ain't on your calendar, fam. Then comes the lawyer's big swing. He repeats Drake's own ad-lib, drop, hoping to trigger some guilt. Instead, the stadium cracks up, because everybody knows Drizzy's catchphrase just signed his own divorce papers. The beat kicks. Kenny strides out. It's over. What makes it savage isn't just the humor, it's the message underneath. Drake weaponized courts to frame Kendrick as a bully. Kendrick weaponized comedy to frame Drake as the punchline. Ain't even about who wins the lawsuit now. The culture already chose a side, and it's chanting till throats go hoarse. Stick around, cause the skit was only act 1. Kendrick still had 52 songs to kill. Literally no breathers, no safety nets, and definitely no backing tracks. Most rappers gas out after an hour. Kendrick clocked nearly 3, tore through 9 themed acts, and never let the mic do the work for him. It kicked off with that vintage Buick rolling across the stage. Okay, he loves that car, and ended with Fireworks' Time to Sing About Me. In between, SCA floated in on a neon butterfly, mustard spun West Coast heaters, and a full brass band blasted the hook to King Kunta like halftime at the Rose Bowl. But the real flex? Kendrick's lungs. Bro sprinted through DNA, Euphoria, Family Ties, and Deep Cut Joints fans never thought they'd hear live. Word for word, no vocal track under. Try that after already dumping half a discography on stage. The crowd echoed every bar, making the dome quake so hard, the concession nacho cheese started vibrating. Meanwhile, Drake's last headline set leaned on karaoke-style playback and Instagram filters. No shade, okay, a little shade, but stats are stats. Kendrick's stamina became the headline, overshadowing the pyros, the rotating cube stage, even SZA's glow-in-the-dark wings. It was the kind of masterclass that makes doubters delete old tweets in bulk. And just when fans thought the flexing was done, the paperwork drama offstage decided to add more fuel to the fire. Champagne, Poppy got paperwork thicker than a college textbook, expanded defamation claims, emotional distress bullet points, maybe even a footnote begging judges to mute Not Like Us at halftime shows. His team alleges that Kendrick's Grammy set damaged brand valuations and that fan chants caused mental strain. Twitter reacted how Twitter does, by slapping Drake's face onto Squidward holding rejection letters. Every new filing means fresh memes, fresh think pieces, and more promo for Kenny's tour. Irony so heavy, you gotta bench press it. While Drake's evidence piles up like overdue homework, Kendrick morphs each bullet point into stage material. The more serious Drizzy tries to look, the funnier the roast lands. Fans screenshot court docs, highlight petty lines, and blast them on TikTok with clown horn Sound effects. You can't script humiliation better than that, because Kendrick barely has to lift a finger. Drake's lawyers do the writing, the internet handles the punchlines, and the tour cashes every check. But our Compton chess player still had extra moves up his sleeve, namely deleting Drake from songs Drake helped create. Halfway through the set, purple lights haze the arena. Poetic justice slides in smooth, and the folks brace for that silky drizzy verse, except it never comes. Kendrick sails past the gap, raps the entire hook himself, then smirks. Sometimes, over time, pays triple. Crowd laughs, cause they get it. He just scrubbed the track cleaner than a radio edit. Next up, ZIA steps out for RBD off Hot for All the Dogs. Again, Drake's part, nowhere. She glides through her vocals, hits a wink, and the audience swells the missing bars with boohoo ad-libs. It's petty, yeah, but petty is fun when you're winning. The highlight, a fresh Euphoria bridge, brand new bars minted on the tour bus. Kendrick goes, "You filed briefs, I file rhymes, verdict reads, another body on the timeline." Stadium roars. You can practically feel Drake's iPhone overheating. Kenny ain't just performing hits, he's updating them on the fly, patch notes like a video game, version 1.5, more smoke, fewer features. At this point, every section is a W, but nothing spells victory louder than raw numbers. Let's crunch the stats. Here's the tale the receipts tell. Tickets sold, 47,354. Clean, sold out stamp printed on the venue site before the first 808 clapped. Gross revenue, roughly 6 million one night. That's like selling a mid-sized mansion in 3 hours. Merch haul, hoodies, tees, and vinyl bundles cleared the shelves. Insiders whisper close to $1 million in cotton alone. Resale madness. Floor seats peaked at $1,300. Nosebleeds hit $280, meaning even the cheap seats cost more than new gen consoles. Social traction. Hashtag, #, Kendrick S, Z, A-popped 15 million impressions opening weekend. Drake's hashtags dipped 30%. Algorithm treating him like expired milk. Numbers ain't feelings, numbers ain't hype, they're scoreboard lights. Right now it's Kendrick 6, Drake 0, and the whistle just blew for halftime. Every chart tick up means another L ballooned on Drake's scoreboard. And guess what? Tour only just moved its first poem. So where does this chess game roll next? Let's peek at the road ahead. 19 more US stadiums are stamped in black ink, European leg right after. Sophie Stadium booked a third date cause 2 wasn't enough. Rumor mills spinning that Kendrick's film crew is archiving every diss, every fan chant, turning it into a streaming doc. Think Homecoming meets a roast session. Launch window, Christmas, maybe sooner if editing gods move fast. Now, Drake's next court hearing lines up smack in the middle of Kendrick's New Jersey stop. Picture Kenny on stage toggling between all right and subpoena punchlines while lawyers 1,000 miles away debate damage valuations. If that ain't poetic in the hip-hop sense, IDK what is? Drake could drop a surprise single, maybe an apology jam, or even double down on legalese. Each path looks tougher the more Kendrick's crowd scream duck. And fans, they'll watch, meme, then buy more tour tickets. Vicious cycle, unless Drizzy can pivot from daddy daycare paperwork to platinum level music. But for now, the throne looks bolted in Compton steel. So let's recap this wild saga. One deposition parody toppled a lawsuit's PR spin. 50 plus tracks turned the stadium into hip hop church. Collab ghosting erased Drake off his own records. And every stat from merch to trending tags screams the same thing. Kendrick is racking dips like sneakers in a collector's closet. Drake's still a global icon, no doubt. But right now, he's boxed into a corner full of contracts and court dates, swinging at shadows while Kendrick packs arenas on autopilot. I gotta ask y'all, does Drizzy have a strategic reset up his sleeve? Or are we watching the biggest tumble since a certain Queens rapper calls somebody a wankster? Drop your hottest takes in the comments. Slap that like so the algorithm shows more hip-hop heads the scoreboard. And hit subscribe, cause Kenny's next stop might be your city, and you'll wanna know the second those tickets drop. Until then, keep catching, leave the L's for the lawsuit specialists. And remember, in rap, the real verdict comes from the crowd. Peace.